Hello and welcome back to the war. As we say, this is your host. Today we are going to be heading into the land of Niger and Benin. They have been beefing, they are still beefing um, because of the oil pipeline that was supposed to be connecting from Niger to Benin. So I will let you watch this video and we'll be right back.
Are at loggerheads over a border feud. Now we're talking about Niger and Benin, and stuck in the middle of this dispute is China. Now China's first shipment of crude from Niger has been blocked due to the ongoing crisis between the two African nations. Benin is preventing its neighbor Niger from using its port to export its first crude oil.
EU on Niger's uranium adds another layer of complexity to the situation. Recent political instability in Niger, culminating in a military takeover, has disrupted the supply of uranium to the EU, consequently driving up prices. This disruption in the uranium market directly impacts the EU's energy security and economic interests. The significant increase in the price of Niger's uranium underscores the vulnerability of the EU's reliance on external sources for critical resources. We are active in supporting all the efforts in the field of development and prosperity. We also observe the significant investments made by Benin in the field of infrastructure. We also observe the economic reforms which bring results in terms of attractiveness for private investments. We also had the opportunity to discuss the regional situation, in particular the fight against terrorism and the security issues were at the heart of our exchanges, since the European Union wishes to be a committed partner, also through financing, to be able to provide material of equipment intended for security, intended for the fight against terrorism, drone-type equipment, vehicle-type equipment for collecting information. We are in the process of mobilizing 47 million euros this year, with envelopes which are dedicated, for example, for acquisition of drones or even planes for collecting information, planned investment also in the field of the Beninese Navy, and then investments in order to support initiatives to reduce the terrorist threat. We can clearly see the significant efforts made by the authorities of Benin are very mobilized to protect their population.
Well, you heard what the guy from the EU has to say, right? He's talking how they want to provide this drone, they want to give this money so the Benin can be able to secure the country, and they provide Benin with vehicle. Look at the amount of money that they are calling. But not only that, they're talking about helping them fighting terrorists. Excuse you? What terrorists? Are you not a terrorist? Since how long has these people been in this country that since they have been fighting terrorists, they haven't hit terrorists yet? And they are still talking about terrorists. I tell you, the effrontery is the effrontery for me. Is the arrogant for me. But anyway, a new update is that Benin has actually accepted to open the pipeline for the first oil to pass through, and then they will have a talk. The president, I think they're supposed to meet to have a talk about the deal that was signed between the two militaries.
I am the General Director of the House of Benin. As part of the construction and operation of the Benin-Niger pipeline project, we have signed a bilateral agreement that sets the general conditions governing the construction and exploitation of the pipeline in the territories of Niger and Benin. According to Article 3.1 of the bilateral agreement, the right of transit for crude oil coming from Nigerian territory on Benin territory is granted to the state of Niger. It is by virtue of this right that all other agreements and legal instruments have been put in place. In accordance with the spirit of the agreement, the state of Niger and the state of Benin are guarantors of the transit system's operation. The right of transit granted to Niger allows shippers of crude oil originating from Niger to transport it through Benin. Benin intends to honor all agreements signed within this framework. A letter was sent by the Nigerian Douane to the Beninese Douane for the participation of a senior Nigerian delegation in the loading operations as planned by the agreements. Therefore, we decided to authorize the loading of the ship anchored in our port. This indicates that Benin has no intention of violating the agreements or the interests of the state or its partners. However, it is important to note that this authorization is punctual and provisional, as mentioned in the
analyzing the main issue If Niger want to export their oil, they should at least officially inform Benin Republic. But you made a point, madam. My question is this: where is the President Tinubu today? Where is the President of Togo? Where is ECOWAS? They sanctioned Niger and asked everybody to close the border with no reason. Now Benin is suffering a bad relationship between Benin and Niger. Why Nigeria can't intervene and call them to come to peace situation? So we are.
Do you think that will have
took
much
a bad decision, and Benin people are suffering about that?
Right. So I'll keep you guys updated. Shout out to Africa the Voice, and I'll see you on the next video. This is the war as we say it. Kwahere and salam alaikum.